The pickle in the McDonald's hamburger is now as thick or thicker than the beef patty. My tinfoil hat, I think I might need a tinfoil flowing gown the way it's moving with food prices. And not to leave you hanging here, the pickle in McDonald's burgers is now thicker than the patty. The image speaks for itself. Now, please understand, these companies have run shrinkflation as far as they can take it. They've added as much cellulose as your body would accept without getting sick and showing you signs you ate something that's not food, quote unquote. They've run every possible scenario to shrink the food, shrinkflation, same package, just way less inside. When you open, you're like, whoa, there's only 1/20th of the package size in here. Because if they shrunk the package, you'd look at that and go, whoa, that no way. So the shrinkflation and the cellulose additions to well, that's the end of it. So this point forward is you can raise prices. That's about it. Because it's coming in every single direction you can look at. Trump's 100% tariff on past a day's wage for a loaf of bread. Isn't that a biblical forecast for the future of food prices? Trump administration, 100% tariff plus on Italian pasta. So 92% of it is from an anti-dumping duty. So get your pastas now. It's going to get double price. Then the 15% on EU goods. So food prices are forecast to decline 3% over the next year, which I don't believe, but we'll play here. They can say anything they want in print, free press, right? But in reality, are you seeing your food only rising 3%? I don't think so. Death by 1,000 cuts. Well, if you can remove the food supply in any way, shape, form for anything at a drop of a hat, 6,500 geese here, suspected, quote unquote, all the way over to suspected again, 400 ostriches in British Columbia, hundreds of millions of birds, 2021, 22. If you can take away the birds, take away the goats, the sheep, the cattle, the fish, and move it all into a lab-grown fashion. They call it cellular agriculture, lab-grown protein sources. Now, if they can do away with all the natural, they can get you 100% into the corporate flow of your food supply and the production of it. Very different than having a natural raised animal. Now everything's patented. So you're paying a fee for eating every time you eat. You're actually paying a patent usage fee. We're going to take away all natural food sources, and only food can be only sourced through our company only. And guess what? Besides the taxes, we get them with a royalty fee every time they eat because we own the patents for all the food they're going to eat. Man, talk about that closed loop circle. Yeah, vampires are feeding. And bringing it over to this little video. 1944, government ordered Americans to grow food. And by 1954, that mandate was rescinded and made it illegal to grow food in your front yard. Now, during World War II, 20 million victory gardens popped up. 40% of all food consumed in America was made or grown at the home. They needed that war effort. Don't take from the troops, grow it yourself, give more food to the front lines. Oh, wait, but at that 1954 turned, no more chickens, no more front yard gardens. That's all wiped away. Different types of legislatures to make front yard gardening illegal. And who wanted them banned? General Foods, Heinz, and Campbell Soup lobbied for suburban zoning laws that banned front yard food production, and their processed foods exploded all the way to the bank. That was a 3x increase. They also hit up every homeowners association across the United States, passing same laws. No vegetable gardens. We will lean your house if you put a garden out. Now 98% of the gardens are, well, gone. 98%. Bye-bye. Leaves you 2%. And they're still worried about the 2%. The 2% is 2% of profit that's not going into their corporate bottom line is the way they look at it. Now, think about this. If they can eliminate all natural food sources and really go into cellular agriculture where they control every patent on every piece of food that you consume, you're paying the royalty fee every time you eat. We've all seen the headlines talk about Ozempic and similar miracle weight loss shots, but what most people don't realize is that major analysis just found out that people who stopped taking these weight loss injections gain nearly all their weight back within a year. That's the catch. These drugs only work while you're on them. They're expensive, and the moment you stop, your body fights back. This is why I like BioTrust GLP-1 Elevate, and everybody these days is obsessed with weight management results. GLP-1 helps my body naturally trigger the same hunger-controlling, craving-reducing signals that Ozempic would, without needles, prescriptions, or the scary side effects. It also helps reduce hunger hormones, supports fat loss instead of muscle loss, and helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels. For a limited time, you can grab a bottle of BioTrust GLP-1 Elevate right now for 40% off only at trimwithadapt2030.com. Plus, you'll receive a 60-day satisfaction guarantee and the free express shipping on subscriptions. Once again, go to trimwithadapt2030.com or click on that link in the description box below. And then also, if they can control it 100% where there's zero other options, then you truly are under complete control, and they could raise the prices to whatever they want. Like, you already see this inflation just nibbling away at everybody here. Like, middle class has almost disappeared to getting ripped apart by inflation, whether it's the homeowners insurance prices doubling, tripling, quadrupling. You got to have that to stay in your home. Auto insurance doubling, tripling, all the food prices, every good you can buy. There's nothing that hasn't gone up to the point of it's eating into everybody's savings. You're being milked. We're being milked of our wealth. Usually they wait until you retire and get into the medical system to do that, take your last dollar before you, pass to the other side. But now it's being done in advance. So you have to ask yourself, all right, something's blown through the last 4 of these generation turns where they've milked us at the end of our lives. This time they're doing it, don't care where you sit, beginning, middle, or end. It's all being pulled in now, which means there's a vast change coming. They're getting whatever they can versus losing some that they couldn't harvest now. Let's look at it this way. This planet is a farm, and you are being harvested of your time and your labor. That sounds so matrixy. Let's jump into European holiday, not AI. There's an actual photo here. A moment of zen for us to survey the streets and imagine what it would be like. Holiday cocktails, open fire braised meats through Europe. You're going to go out to eat, aren't you? Oh, wait. If you can't tip your server, don't go out to eat. Okay, I'll agree. Your bill's $85. Move the decimal over and multiply by 4. That's $34 for the tip on $85. Wait, that's nearly half the bill. What? Final total $120. Hey, waitress, being crass on purpose. If you don't want to work for 20% on the tip, get a different job. Don't bring this BS like we're supposed to suddenly raise your tip to 40%. If you don't like what you're doing and you don't think it pays enough, get out and go do something else. This is just ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. We need to push back on this. And we also need to push back on the reframe how save the planet, but AI data centers are good now. We need them both. Forget about the planet. We need data centers. Like, this reframing needs to stop also along this ridiculous 40% tip. Some men may downplay climate change risks to avoid appearing feminine. Another piece of new research. How do you even? This guy here, does he appear feminine? 40 feet of snow in North Dakota, 1966. That's a historical fact. Was he downplaying? How about downplay this clear cutting of the Amazon rainforest to raise cattle for our fast food institutions? This needs to stop as well. Not even to downplay this. So this is clear cutting. That's not me and you going down buying 100 acres in the rainforest and ripping it up like that, and then throwing some cattle on there for a few years. This is another thing, this reframing of we got to stop all beef production in like the Netherlands and in Germany and in America and Canada. We need to stop beef bad, bison bad, birds bad, everything bad. But then they go down and they rip apart and clear cut the entire Amazon rainforest, just huge swaths, millions of acres to put cattle out there to then sell you those same beef patties that are in your favorite fast food joint. And wait a minute. You're saying bad up here, you're closing off industries and causing bankruptcies across the Northern Hemisphere, yet at the same time, you're taking that money and stripping our forests, the lungs of the planet, to raise the same exact product that was in these other places. You see, this is all about extracting wealth and moving wealth and bankrupting. And again, it's like they're calling in the loans early on in the Social Security card, the whole Social Security savings and banking savings getting called in early. Like I said before, usually they wait until you're on your deathbed and make sure all that money comes back to the state, right? There's some massive event that's inbound here that is disrupting this normal cycle to the point where if it's not pulled in now, it's going to be lost. And I would ask you, with the world changing as much as you've seen, and we feel it every day, we see it electrically, it's here. There's like different intuitive feelings, something's changing. There's this is, several 1,000-year cycle of change is here at our doorstep. It's already started. So the way the governments are behaving and reacting, they're getting real sloppy. They're forcing a lot of things, but again, they're pulling in all the wealth as fast as they can through just like the most ridiculous means. As soon as that messaging and the re-narrative or the reframing stops, that stops everything. Because if they can't control the flow of information from a certain seed point, and that's how the messaging should go out. If we do not believe the reframe, that will stop it cold. So wind it all the way back to where the messaging comes out from. If we all just say, no, that's unbelievable, I don't accept that reframe, then there's no step further back than that, except pure fact. And the question is it an electromagnetic change that we're starting to see and feel? Everybody feels something different. Perhaps this is, we're right at the ecliptic plane right now. The Mayans talked about this, rising above and below. Like when those polarities switch, so does human consciousness. And we are at that moment as we speak. And a scientific fact, because I'm into the science, a dog gets more factual information from sniffing another dog's butt than a human does from watching mainstream media. Which is why my tinfoil hat is now getting bigger and more stylish and shall be a full gown by the end of 2026. Oh my. See what we're dealing with here? And since we talked about gardening, trueleafmarket.com, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. Spring planting's just around the corner. Please remember, support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/civilization cycle. And also our Thursday night Civilization Cycle live podcast radio program. Sign up for the show notes. 10 bullet points of what we talked about to keep the conversation moving. I appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. I'll see you next time, and bye for now.